All right, today we're jumping right into Operation Epic Fury. This is the massive joint U.S.-Israeli strike on Iran that has, and this is no exaggeration, just tipped the entire region into open warfare.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The whole thing kicked off with this incredibly blunt statement. Right from the get-go, they made it clear this wasn't just some targeted bombing run. No, the goal was way bigger, to change the regime itself.
So picture this. February 28, 2026, a massive, coordinated attack lights up the sky across the region. And you have to understand, these strikes weren't random at all. They were laser-focused, part of a super detailed plan with just one, incredibly audacious goal. Yeah, we're not just talking about taking out missile silos here. The real target was the very top, the nerve center of the entire Iranian state. We're talking about the Supreme Leader's compound in Tehran. The mission, plain and simple, was a decapitation strike.
But here's the thing. Did they get him?
Well, almost instantly, a total fog of war rolled in. You had conflicting stories coming from everywhere. And the fight wasn't just on the ground anymore. It was a full-blown information war. And look at this. You've got two completely different stories hitting the wire at the same time. The Israeli IDF is saying, mission accomplished, he's dead. But on the other side, Iranian state media is shouting, nope, he got away. This wasn't an accident. This kind of confusion, it's a weapon, designed to sow chaos from minute one. So you have to be asking yourself, how on earth do you pull off a perfectly synchronized attack like this across a huge country? Well, the answer lies in this really fascinating military tactic called time on target. This is where modern warfare gets kind of terrifyingly brilliant. Think about it. You've got missiles flying from subs, bombs dropping from jets, cruise missiles from ships, all launched at totally different times from all over the place. But thanks to some serious math, they all hit their targets in different cities at the exact same second. It's like a symphony of destruction, and the whole point is to create absolute, paralyzing shock. And the attack plan was just methodical. It was a three-step process. Step 1, blind them. Knock out their radars so they can't see what's happening. Step 2, disarm them. Hunt down and destroy all their missile launchers. And step 3, cripple them. Hit their factories so they can't rebuild. It's literally a step-by-step guide to dismantling an entire country's war machine. But here's the really wild part. They didn't just smash through Iran's defenses. They outsmarted them. Just try to imagine you're an Iranian radar operator. Suddenly your screen is flooded with hundreds of fighter jets heading straight for you. Total panic, right? Except they're not real jets. They're tiny, cheap decoy drones designed to look like them. And while all the air defense systems are freaking out trying to shoot down these decoys, the real attackers, the B-2s and F-35s, just ghost right through the chaos, completely invisible. And this just gives you a sense of the sheer scale we're talking about. You've got Tomahawks flying in from the sea. You got B-2 bombers, the most advanced stealth aircraft on the planet, sneaking in to drop these monster bunker-buster bombs on hardened targets. And then you have these massive carrier strike groups, basically floating air bases, launching jet after jet. It's an absolutely incredible display of coordinated military power. Okay, but make no mistake, this was not a one-way street. Iran has one of the biggest missile arsenals in the entire world, and they didn't just sit there and take it. Their response was fast, it was huge, and it was immediate. Yeah, within just a few hours, Iran started hitting back. And they weren't just aiming at Israel. They unleashed a storm of missiles and drones at U.S. bases and allies all over the region. The message was loud and clear. If you hit us, it's gonna hurt, and it's gonna hurt everywhere. So you can see their strategy, right? Widen the battlefield. By going after major U.S. hubs like the Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters, they were showing everyone, hey, we can touch you anywhere in the Gulf. None of your forces are safe. It was a huge escalation. So in the middle of all this chaos, missiles flying, conflicting news reports, this massive question just hangs in the air. Who is actually in charge of Iran right now? You've got a country of almost 90 million people at war, and it looks like there's a giant power vacuum right at the very top. But, you know, Iran actually had a plan for this. It's written right into their constitution. Article 1111 lays out exactly what to do. A provisional leadership council gets formed immediately. It's a built-in safety switch designed to keep the government running and project stability, even when everything seems to be falling apart. Okay, but that constitutional stuff, that's what they show the world. The real story is what's happening behind closed doors.
You can bet a massive power struggle is already underway. And the group you've really got to watch is the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard. These guys aren't just soldiers, they're a huge economic and political power. They're the ones who will ultimately decide who's next in line, and you can be sure it'll be someone who protects their interests.
So let's just be clear about what's happened. This attack and the immediate counterattack have pushed the entire region right over the edge. All that talk of a shadow war fought through proxies, that's over. This is now a direct, full-blown war between nations, and it has consequences for everyone. So where does this all go? Well, if you ask the experts, the outlook is pretty grim. The most likely scenario, and they're putting it at a 70% chance, is that Iran just doubles down on its military. It becomes a state run not so much by clerics, but by the hardliners in the IRGC. And any hope for diplomacy? Yeah, that's pretty much off the table. So it all really boils down to this one question for Iran: consolidation or collapse? Does an attack like this make the regime circle the wagons and become stronger? Or does all this pressure, both from the outside and from the power struggles on the inside, just cause the whole thing to splinter and break apart? And this is what you really need to take away from all this. These first few days of fighting might just be the beginning. The future here is a huge question mark. We could see a more aggressive, cornered Iran, or we could see a total collapse of the state, which would create a whole new level of chaos in the region that could last for a generation. And that's really the final question, isn't it? Did Operation Epic Fury actually get rid of a threat? Or did it just light the fuse on a much, much bigger bomb? A conflict so unpredictable it could change the map of the region and maybe even the world forever.
This is Candour history. History as it happened, told with evidence, not opinion.